On paper, Dan Griffin was nothing out of the ordinary. He was anxious. He was urgent. He was like any other patient we see in the trauma unit. Unremarkable was how I described him to the police. When they looked for answers in those early therapy sessions, they read about the bruise on his face, the terror in his voice, and the flashbacks that were so visceral they took his breath away. But there was nothing to hint at his capacity for violence. Nothing at all to suggest what he was capable of. It took a while to understand that the question to ask wasn't, why didn't I see it coming, but why didn't I move out of the way? It's a Friday afternoon in April when I see Dan for his first appointment, at the end of a difficult week, an onslaught of new referrals, an email about budget cuts, and then, that morning, the unexpected phone call about the death of a patient, Alfie Burgess. The hospice nurse is kind as she tells me what happened. Peaceful, she says, and surrounded by family. Then some other things I don't hear. You'll let the team know, is how she ends the call. Of course it should be me as head of department to tell them all, and in the past I'd happily rise to such leadership requests. It was something I was good at, competent, capable, and in control, spreading my arms wide to contain the distress of the department. But that day, in the run-up to Tom's birthday, my hand is shaking as I replace the receiver. It's a feeling that's been getting worse. The once fluttery sensation in the pit of my stomach has become a band of tension across my chest. It could be the death of anyone, a next-door neighbour's friend, or even the story in the news. But when it's someone I know well, like Alfie, it tightens until it becomes hard to move. There's never a picture or image that forms in my head, just a creeping sense of dread about Tom. I try to focus on Alfie, on how I will tell the team, but my body is rigid like it's gone into hiding. Tom's birthday has become an obsession. I knew it would. It did last year. Lately, almost any event can serve as a marker of time. The first autumn leaves, the first dusting of frost, or the first smudge of purple and yellow crocuses. All small signs that the world is turning without him. But the day of his birthday. What mother doesn't want to transport herself back to the glorious cocoon of that moment, whatever the age of her child? There's a nervous kind of anticipation that I know will come to nothing. The date will come and go without him. The balloon of hope will deflate, and sometimes the sheer effort required to pump myself back into shape simply feels too much. I've had days like this before, and I know it will pass. However, for the moment, I am too full of it. If it was anyone else, any other member of my team, I'd tell them they shouldn't be at work. Go home, I'd say. Be kind to yourself. For obvious reasons, home is the last place I want to be. That day, I am like an overfull bath. Drip, drip, drip. I feel heavy with the weight of it, as if one small request will send me sloshing and spilling out all over the floor. And yet, still I hold up my hand for more. Another referral, an extra supervision group, a paper to present at a conference. Yes, I'll do it, I hear myself say. And I do it in the hope it'll fill the void. I'm not making excuses, there are no excuses, but my state of mind on the day I first meet Dan Griffin cannot be denied. After the phone call, I sit at my desk for a while. I think about imparting the news about Alfie, and I know exactly how it'll go. There will be grave faces, sadness, tears, hushed tones and hugs. We will make tea and remember him, his cheery, "What's up?" when he arrived at reception. Our thoughts will be with his parents, their quiet spoken dignity. Together, we will rage against the injustice of it all. We will remind ourselves that he was ill, that porphyria was a degenerative condition, that he defied all expectations. He did so well, we'll conclude, considering. Beneath all the camaraderie and commiseration, there will be an undercurrent of competition. Who knew him best? Who's entitled to grieve the most? We will think about how long he'd been coming to the department for his needle phobia, on and off for more than 8 years, maybe more. I remember telling Tom about him once. No names, of course, but in the face of his own nightmares, it was an attempt to normalize his fears. I remember how he sat wide-eyed as I told him about Alfie's panic and what we did to help him. "You see," I said, stroking his hair, "everyone has worries." We will recall how well Alfie seemed the last time he came in. There will be a card to sign, a collection for the flowers. I feel dizzy just thinking about it all. Tasks that I have both welcomed and risen to effortlessly over the years today feel insurmountable. I don't want more grief, more death. I already feel stalked by it. I want to put the phone down and pretend it hasn't happened, but I can't do that. It falls on me, Ruth Hartland, director of the trauma unit. I am in charge. It says so on my door.